Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another wonderful day of Overwatch. We are live here from the Blizzard Arena in Los Angeles, and we've got 4 matches coming at you today. My name is Semler, with me is Hex, and we are going to be casting the action. At least the first match, Hex. At least the first
match. We might get one later today if I decide to, stick around for the rest of it. But
maybe
this is the kind of final stretch of the regular season as the playoffs and the play-ins are looming. So every single one of these games is very important for at least one of our combatants, as it were. You see, today we're going to kick it off with London and Houston. London in that top 6 right now. They've got top 12 locked up, but they want to stay in this top 6 right on the cusp right now. And if you drop below that little blue line there, then you have to play more matches, and there's a lot of volatility in the play-ins just to get to the playoffs. So they're really fighting for their top 6 life, and they don't have a ton more chances to be able to get this done.
Exactly. There aren't that many matches left in stage, and they've been struggling, Hex. 2 losses back-to-back right at the home finish when you should be playing your strongest going into the playoffs. Not the London that we were expecting to see, given the change in meta that was brought about in Stage 4, a bit more DPS, damage focus, and London seems still to be a hit-or-miss team right now.
Look, they lost to Florida, and I kind of just chalked it up as London being London, but the one to Vancouver was a heartbreaker because they had it. They had it so close within their grasp, and then it felt like they just kind of gave it away. It was slipping, and they could never pull it back. But you see the schedule right now. They play the Outlaws today, then they play the Reign. That's it. That's their season. So they really have to lock up these next couple matches because they're not going to our Kit Kat homestand in LA.
And they're playing against a Team A that plays up to their opposition in Houston, but also they're going up against the Atlanta Reign, who look fantastic right now, who look very solid. But as far as the Houston Outlaws are concerned,
I mean, this is what we just said. Like, against the rest of the league, when they're playing against teams that aren't the best, they don't really win. But when it comes time to show up on the big stage against the big boys, they have a pretty decent win percentage there. So their record is much better versus the top 6 than it is versus the rest of the league. And right now, we showed you that top 6 is where London is.
Pictures of Jake. Outlaws versus mid to lowly tier teams. That's right, asleep. Outlaws versus top 6. I mean, that's what Outlaws are capable of, Hex.
Yeah.
When you got Jake, he gets fired up, and he's on the roster. He's on the starting 6, at least I'm assuming. We haven't seen him yet today. But you know what? Actually, we're not going to have to wait long to find out, Hex, because the first team is ready to get to the stage. Who is it going to be? It's going to be the Houston Outlaws.
With our 2-2-2 roll lock, you can tell who's going to be playing what as they walk out onto the stage, led by Linkser, so no Jake, at least early on here. Lynx are going to get back into this lineup. They've not been ultra effective with him, but we'll see if they can pull something out today. The rest of the lineup, no big surprise. Dante's been getting a lot more playing time as well. Nice wink, too. Wink right back at you there, Muma.
They know where the cameras are at Hex. This is their first rodeo. Two Linkser and Dante on the damage dealers. Muma and Spree will be playing tank, and Raucous Boink on the back line playing support. But we're ready to get their opponents out on the stage now, Hex. Please welcome the London Spitfire. Already.
A banger of an intro right there. And this is going to be your Spitfire starting 6 right there. No surprise to see Prophet in there as well. The big question is, too, are they going to run guard or are they going to run bird ring?
Yeah.
Generally, it pretty much telegraphs their strategy. When they bring in guard, you almost always expect them to play Sombra. I'd expect guard to at least come in for the second map when we move over to Assault, as Sombra is still highly played there.
Did Fury just hurt his wrist giving a high five?
I don't know. You can be fragile here. And this London team is no stranger to wrist problems, of course, plagued Bird Ring almost all of last year. And Bird Ring and Prophet are going to be the guys in those damage rolls. Gesture, of course, a staple. And then the big question is, Waterman has been playing a lot lately, but, they still have a guy named Nuss who can play very well.
But Hex, that's the thing. I always lose mine, but I'm told you've got yours. The keys to victory, Hex, what are they?
London has to do a lot of things to try to pull this off, right? They have to take control, and what we talk about is how they can't lose the first control map. They had lost 9 of their prior 11 first control maps before they beat Vancouver on it, and control has notoriously been bad for them. Their overtime fights have been terrible. It's been an atrocious bugaboo for this team that when it gets to clutch time, they just don't have it, and their win rate drops off a cliff. And then it's always the key. it's always Prophet. You know, he popped off last year, carried them through to the finals, won the finals. Again, this is your returning 2018 Overwatch League champions, but Prophet has been trying to do it all himself, needs a little bit more help from his friends.
So let's take a look. I mean, we'll sound like broken records with how often we talk about Prophet and this team. But as far as the maps presented by Toyota, Li Jiang, you're a big fan, Hex, gonna be kicking us off.
Li Jiang is one of my favorite, it's actually my absolute favorite map in all of the game, and it actually probably should be London's favorite control map as well.
Why?
Houston is 0-4 on this one. London, despite struggling in control forever, is 4-1 on this map.
The one strong one, the actual opportunity here for them to hit the ground running and to break this streak. You and I got to cast them versus Florida. It was a disaster on control. London, they really don't seem to be favoring this map type, but you just pointed it out. This is a map type that they actually, or this is a map in particular that they have a decent record on, and the Houston Outlaws, not so hot. So an opportunity here for London Spitfire to get it going, and we are live.
Okay. London not going to stick with the Symmetra, not going full on Washington Justice there. Washington ran a really cool sim strat on this point of Lijiang Tower yesterday, but it does seem like Houston's going to take to the skies. It's odd Linkser is going to be in this lineup if this is what they want to run, but a Doomfist on the point for Dante as well.
Yeah, he's going to be looking to pick up one kill already, but Rocka is going to be the one to kick off the party with the kill on Gesture. So already a man advantage here for the Houston Outlaws. That excellent start that they were hoping to hit is actually coming in, although the Maywall going in, so Prophet going to be trying to buy some time. That's Dante getting cut off from the rest of his team. Does not pick up the one requisite kill that he needs to obtain, and he will get brought back for another shot at it, and this is just actually all going to Houston Outlaws' way.
Well, they allow the res to come in. It's going to be first control and a very quick barrage.
Whoa, sick barrage from Linkser. That's the start. So hard to pick off multi-kills with the barrage and survive it. He does both. And that is the strong start here for Houston Outlaws. First, they don't get first control. London Spitfire were able to pick up the point in the meantime at the beginning there, but they will flip it very quickly. And
this is so important for the composition they want to run. If you want to run a far in the sky, taking first control is really important because all of this chip damage going to come in over the top. It gets very difficult to retake a point with Farah. So it works out very well for Houston. And I think it's because London was unable to deny the resurrection.
You guys, you gotta watch the corners. Dante fluffs it though. He had the Meteor Strike. That's why he goes for these kinds of plays. And he still eliminates Birdring somehow and gets the double. Quartermain out of it. Just like that, Dante making the plays, and all of it because London don't check their corners. It's the first rule of FPS. Look left, look right when you go through a doorway.
Also good advice for crossing the street.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean,
everywhere.
Dante rolling through this right now just kind of gets... Once you get your Doomfist going, it gets very difficult to stop. He gets all those shields from hitting everybody. London just capitalizing. Or excuse me, Houston.
They get the flip, but Houston are looking to win the fight. Gesture already down here, so a man advantage for the Houston Outlaws. The tank removed. Rock is going to get topped up, and Boink's got the wings out right now. Dante dropping low, has to be careful. We're on Birdring because he's got the Death Blossom. He's still looking for a kill here.
He was going to try to ski off that slope into the back line, but they were ready to catch him.
And another barrage coming in here from Linkser. This time, no success. He gets denied immediately. Fury, that's on the wrong side. No, the shield breaks and Raucus goes up. 2 kills here for London Spitfire.
That does not seem like it should have happened. At least it should have been called that there was a self-destruct right past this wall, but they've dropped the wall after. So London's in control of that wall. They drop it. Raucus doesn't get out of the way. The self-destruct ends up popping him, and now London, despite getting rolled over by Dante quickly, has taken the advantage here. And it's largely because Houston allowed them to just get on the point and take it for free, get positioning. Houston never really even challenged London trying to take that position.
That's always the gamble, isn't it? When you're going for that, where you're like, all right, we'll give them the point because we're going to win the fight, and then you don't win the fight. That's a bit problematic if you're Houston. Kind of going against the plan. Once again, the Meteors are going to come through here. Will not find a kill, and Dante gets blown up immediately. So Houston Outlaws now on the back foot. They've lost their damage dealers. They're going to be lacking that punch, and they're just going to get cleaned up. So back to spawn with them.
On the chase, the nice halt, and there's Birdring cleaning it up. You know, Birdring has been one of those players that you never know which one you're going to get, but I thought his Reaper took leaps and bounds in their most previous game. I think he leads the league in Reaper solo kills, which means he's chasing people down, he's on the flanks, he's doing it alone. So he's adapted his style to this hero.
I think Birdring is just going to be one of those guys who's happy to play a damage dealer. That's what it's all about, name of the game for him.
99, Valkyrie's out, but this is desperation for Houston.
They've already lost Boink as well, so he's gone. You're going to lose Muma next. Main tank dead here for the Houston Outlaws, and London Spitfire with a 2-man advantage on the point. It's looking like they're going to get the job done here, Hex, that they will be picking up the first point on Lijiang. It's all about delay now for Houston Outlaws. There isn't really the tools necessary here. Prophet getting gamed on.
Nice play there, but yeah, they need to get some kills here. This one is pretty much over, barring a miracle for the team in green right now. So they keep trickling on to the point. London continues to play very well on Lijiang Tower, and we talked so much in the pregame about how important it is for them to win these control maps.
Oh, it's been their great Achilles heel so far. How do you put yourself in a position where you'll lose the first map every time? You have to play perfect from there on out if you're going to win the series.
Yep.
It's a high-pressure situation. I mean, you are talking about the defending champs from the 2018 season of Overwatch League, so they know how to play under pressure.
Except when it gets in overtime on actual maps.
But then, yeah, you're not allowed to make any mistakes past that point. You're making life difficult. So for once, London looking like they might get the start they were hoping for here, a 1-0 lead. They're 1 point off of it. So Houston Outlaws, right? What's the answer?
I mean, it was just a compositional win there too. That's why London was able to take control of the points early on, is because they're running what is now considered kind of the soft goats, where we can't run 3 tanks and 3 supports. So what do we do with our damage dealers? Let's get high health damage dealers. Let's get sustainable damage dealers as well. So that's kind of the same idea as was the 3-3 meta. Let's get everybody as healthy as possible and run face first into the other team.
Face first, shotguns leading the way. No kill, though. Great team matrix there to keep him up, and that is some decent cover coming in here from Houston Outlaws.
Oh, Dante somehow gets out of that one.
Dude, great support from Spree. You got to give it to him. He is just backing his team up. He just saved them from imminent death, and eventually they will get worn down. Linkser, first to fall here for the Houston Outlaws, and now Birdring just point blank in these tanks. He's going to be murderous.
Trying to get in there, but the Coalescence comes out. Prophet falls, and now they've lost their May.
There's Birdring dropping Muma, so... I mean, Birdring's gone, but that's his damage done. Now it's all on the rest of them, and Doshin going to shine the light on Boink. Boink nowhere to hide.
It's too late.
Run.
This is just stall right now. They're just trying to maybe keep some bodies alive and healthy on the point so that they can get reinforcements. The damage dealers for London coming back in though, Supercharger drop.
Oh yeah, now you've got the bongos playing the music, and that damage is going to be crazy. Gesture guns down Linkster, and that is going to be a one fight eventually here for the London Spitfire. It's the cleanup, and Houston Outlaws getting knocked out. Hex, I see you shaking your head.
This is the frustrating thing about watching the Houston Outlaws. Every time I watch them, it reminds me of watching Chinese Overwatch 2 years ago. They can't finish fights. There's no target calling. There's no coordination. That should have been Houston's fight. They got both Prophet and Birdring out of it, and then they let 4 people for London meander on the point, hang out, stay healthy, stay alive, and then the damage dealers come back in. Houston lacks the critical instinct to finish a fight.
Well, find out if they can adapt, if they're going to learn on the fly, or if they will fall here on the first map of this series. Prophet trying to set a trap for him. Sadly for him, nobody walking through. They go the other way. Now you'll get that start. As far as Houston Outlaws are concerned, they've got plenty of check marks to work with here. Both of the support ults. You could see Raucus open it up with the Coalescence in a moment. Usually good to initiate with, and yep, sure enough, Raucus with the Coalescence, damage and healing all in the beam. Dante with the Blizzard thrown in. Prophet gonna try and negate that. We'll see if he can get his off in the meantime. You do get the sound barrier thrown in here by London Spitfire. Boink goes up with the Fury self-destruct. It's just falling apart here for the Houston Outlaws in this fight.
This one is essentially over. A nice wall is gonna isolate Muma, and he's surprised if he lives. He does not. No surprise there.
Whoa.
It's a nice icicle. It's a nice parting gift.
You're peeking, you're getting greedy, Prophet. You're peeking corners when you shouldn't be.
Right now, Houston is up against it, down a point on our opening map here, and at 70%, it's looking to be almost final fight territory here, maybe squeeze on a second one. Death Blossom ready, self-destruct ready, everything else used.
Yeah, you had the taxi service a quarter main there to get Prophet back in this. So, nice dodge here from London Spitfire, evading the self-destruct. Fury is super low right now, hiding, trying to keep that mech alive, and it's going to happen. There's the... Well, Birdring trying to go for the Hail Mary here. Blossom used, Dante obliterated, point blank, and Birdring now just gets to run amok in here, no longer a May to worry about.
Coalescence comes out, it's going to keep Prophet alive. Supercharger trying to choke the Houston Outlaws out of this map.
So solid. They're just keeping it together here. London, they've done everything right in this fight, and it's the Houston Outlaws getting wiped out. Dante will keep the overtime wick burning. but Muma not going to be able to clip his way back into this fight. Boink neither, and it will be the London Spitfire picking up the first map of the series. 2-0 clean over the Houston Outlaws.
Some great play and counterplay there. Dante goes for this flank a little too far out. He has to use Ice Block. They put the shield in front of him, so his team can't help him out, London does, and then he has to use the wall. Those are all resources that have to get used just to save Dante's life. You don't have him for the next fight, and then Houston just gets mopped up, and London breaks the curse of them losing first control maps. We have map number 2 right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
There you have it, the London Spitfire. They have succeeded in breaking the curse. They've picked up a control map win to start a series. They're up 1-0, Hex. It's not something we get to say too often about this team these days. They've lost the last 2 series pretty cleanly. So for them to get a strong start here, it's everything they were hoping for.
Well, I mean, the series prior to Vancouver, they had lost pretty badly, and they lost their openers.
Yeah, we casted that game. It was brutal.
Yeah, with Vancouver, though, they actually did win the opening match, and then they started to feel strong, and they looked good, and then they kind of let it slip away. So you can't get too high right now if you're a London fan, or even if you're this London team going forward, because you'd had good starts before, and it hasn't always finished. You know, it's all about finishing fights, finishing matches.
I thought that was their hashtag. Aces high.
Yeah, something like that. We're going to head into Volskaya, and interestingly enough, London is not taking out Birdring to bring in their Sombra specialist in guard. And so now maybe Birdring is just, you know, in that notion that he's got a good feel going on. Outlaws 1-4-2 in this map. Spitfire a mere 2-4.
Listen, I'm down to see him play some Hanzo.
Yeah.
I want to see where his Hanzo's at. More importantly, I want to see Crawford back on.
I mean, if you're a Houston fan, you're wondering, where's Jake? Because the Outlaws with this damaged combination have only been 1-4 so far, with Linkser and Dante playing together. So where's Jake is the question.
That is the question, considering... Oh, that's the start. Clever play, Muma. A freebie for Muma to start things off. He's got his grin. He's like, yep, told you I was going to do it. Told you I was going to get him.
Even Bedosian's laughed about that one. He knows better. He knows better. As a trick as old as time. Your plat players know better than the rule out there. It's all right though. Just a small reset, but you know it does buy him a solid 30 seconds.
Yeah, look at that. That's a lot of time that's off the clock now because of that one kill. Waiting for everybody to get back into this. Now we'll see. London Spitfire going to be pushing in. There's the halt. Maywall goes up. It's like clockwork now. We're starting to really get these pros figuring out what the proper answer is given each situation. There's a halt coming up, throw the Mei wall down, deny the hook if they're running a hog, which they are. Spree has got that road hog, so he will be looking for the hook combination. And just very passive play coming in here from Houston, trying to just wait for the London Spitfire to overextend and perhaps give a freebie. There you go, like that.
And the pick meta, that's what happens right there. Birdring does go down to Linkser, and perhaps that's why we're seeing Linkser on this Hanzo here. Like, Jake doesn't have bad Hanzo stats, but he dies the most on Hanzo as anyone in the league, and his duelist versus other Hanzos is not good.
Yeah, solid work there from Spree. Nowhere to go for Prophet. 2 kills already here for the Houston Outlaws on the defense of Volskaya, looking good on their side of things. Prophet's got the Blizzard now, though, so if he can work his way back around again.
But this is what made Bren lose his mind when watching London previously. Is like London doesn't do anything for the entire 2 minutes of Volskaya. They go in once, and so far, they're just really waiting it out, waiting for that perfect moment, trying to get in. They're just waiting for their DPS to get a pick. That's it.
You're just very generous, Hex. I like that about you, you know? Considering, you know, that Bren may have a mind to lose to begin with. It's very nice of you. You're so sweet. London Spitfire, let's see, they're already proving Brent wrong. 2 pushes coming in for them on the first point. We're at 1:50 on the clock. There's the Blizzard from Prophet, and there are the kills coming in for the London Spitfire, just like that. Fury's got to be careful, though. He's hanging on, does take a breath. So it's a 3-on-4 fight because Doshin's on the flank, and he's got the Discord.
And the respawns are going to come in faster here, and London knows that this is their window, so they're going to switch to faster heroes right now. Jester goes over to Ball. We also have Prophet coming back in. London needs to capitalize on this. No one's going to be able to really touch Doshin right now.
There's the Dragon.
Yeah, this one's over. Houston's got to go home. If they're halfway out, they better turn heel. Get out while and turn tail, I suppose. I don't know, is turn heel even a phrase? Doesn't matter. Moving on.
I guess a hamster technically has a tail. It's more of like a little stub, but it has a tail. Does Muma have a tail as the horse, though?
Yeah. This is Birdring, what he can pull off on this Hanzo here.
It's really hard. He hits one button. So, years of training and practice.
He hit the one button to see where they were, and then the other button to delete them. Well, Houston's in a decent spot because they didn't try to come in and fight that one, so they're going to have 5 ultimates available for them. This should be a 2nd-point hold for Houston unless some heroics come out for the London Spitfire. Not much to work for them. You will have the Amplification Matrix coming up. You can set Badoshin and Birdring behind it.
Yep.
Maybe get some huge damage coming in.
You got a whole bunch of check marks on the side of the Houston Outlaws, though, so they've got the tools. They've got what's necessary here. Nice shot on the Prophet, just keeping him honest, and the rest of London Spitfire kind of gathered around, but there we go. Going to use the trance to initiate, so when that Blizzard goes down, it might get tricky. Dante's now got the answer. It's kind of like grabbing trance back in the day. Raucus decides to use his trance. Dragon thrown in by Linkser, gonna cut London Spitfire in half, but nobody goes down on the side of London yet.
London's just backing out, and they're also just kind of winning this fight based on how much Houston's having to use. Even if London doesn't win this fight, it's good for them overall. Prophet gets his Blizzard. Now this is going to be the question is London staying in or are they leaving? They're staying.
They're staying because I think Houston, I'm pretty sure Houston just used 5 ultimates trying to hold him off. Oh, the Lantern is there though. You gotta kill the Lantern. That would have been perfect. Muma goes down, but the Lantern was up, and so they don't get wiped out on the side of Houston. Still, the kills do follow here for London. They've got 1 tick. They're going to get 2. Is there a chance here for Houston Outlaws to contest on the 3rd? Looking for the body block, and it's not going to happen. London Spitfire, 2 points on Volskaya in the end.
That was a big reaction to a Transcendence initiation, which I think was meant just as bait. He just rolls in there with a Transcendence, buys his team a little bit of space, they drop Amplification Matrix, and Houston's like, everybody use everything, everybody panic! And they do, they use everything, they get 0 value out of it. London just chills, they chill, they get their own ultimates up, and then throw the Blizzard in, mop it up. A very clean Volskaya offense for London. We'll see the other half in just a second.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Coming up. 冻住！不许走！不许走！ Cease your resistance.
Well, the aces are flying high. Hex, the London Spitfire. They picked up the first map of the series, and they've got 2 points on Volskaya after their offense. Taking a look here at the take on the B point. Just super solid work here from the London Spitfire. They kept their cool, they played it well,
Nope.
and the deny. So sick from Fury.
Well, I mean, it is London, so you do have to maintain air superiority there. Permission to take off, denied. You can't get on the point. Huge hook from Fury. And you know, that kind of comes from playing the Diva, knowing that they're going to come in and try to swoop in. So Fury's like, oh, I know how to do this. I know where you're going to go. I know the flight pattern. So denied, yoinked out of the sky. No touch there for Houston. See what they have on their offense here.
Ooh, straight out the gates, looking for big plays. Linkser hoping that somebody's going to get greedy and peek. Sure enough, London Spitfire giving him some opportunities to hit a headshot there. Doesn't work out for him this time, but London Spitfire now, you got to calm down. You got to cool off. Gesture getting picked up early is not going to help things here for the defense. Not at all. They need to come down with some quick kills here, London Spitfire, or they're going to lose this first point. Oh,
They get one, though. Lynx are now out of it, so it's equalized. 1 damage missing for Houston. The main tank, though, missing for London. That's going to be a big question. London's a team that will fight uneven here.
They will. They have the talent to turn it around. Birdring needs to find some shots, though. But these big beefy tanks, it's just so difficult to whittle down. And that's the thing. Without Gesture around, they can't really stand and fight.
No, you can stand and die, though. Birdring will leap onto the points to his inevitable demise. London might be... Well, actually, they're in a tough spot. Houston is going to have to wait a second, though, because a couple of the people that they had lost got really bad respawns. So they can't just steamroll right through. So London should be able to get back. Also, with the changes to Assault and the quick spawn, London will be in full fighting force, but nothing to use because they got nothing done. Profit deleted!
Oh, but you will get the trade. Spree, though, he gets chucked into the Lantern, though, so he's going to survive. There's no worries at all. And now it's whole hog time, pushing them off of the point. London Spitfire, they're going to have a real difficult time, especially if Spree's getting 2. Fury and Gesture gone. Looking for the follow-up, not going to happen. And Houston Outlaws on a terrific push. Last-second stall out here from the London Spitfire, but you've got that Blizzard covering the entire point. Nobody's going to be able to get out here in time. Gesture barely rolls in. Fury going to be the one next. He's going for the whole hog, but it's not going to be enough. Houston Outlaws with a terrific offense on Volskaya. 2 very quick takes.
It's just losing such key players at such key times. Losing Muma early, then losing Profit in the second fight. That's it. Or not Muma, excuse me. Gesture early, and then you lose Profit. Those are 2 of your best players, 2 of the key cogs in this composition. You're not going to be able to defend without your main tank. And then on second, you're definitely not going to be able to defend without your main. You like Volskaya? We're going to do it again in just a second.
Back into the action, Hex. We go with London Spitfire under the gun. They're juking and jiving up there in the skies, but the Houston Outlaws had their number on that offense. Just ripped through the defense. 2 points on the board for Houston Outlaws with nearly 5 minutes in the bank. So it's London Spitfire with 2.5 minutes, who are once again on offense. And let's see, can they get it done?
Half of the time bank for London, and 2.5 minutes for this London team that seems very tentative on Volskaya, especially Volskaya first. Might just mean 1 push. All right, 1,000 more amplified damage. Quartermain on the Baptiste. A lot of people are wondering why Nuss is not playing Baptiste. He's got very good Baptiste numbers, but Quartermain offers a little more flexibility, perhaps.
Could be any reason right now.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know in terms of, it could be mentality. We've seen that happen in the past with London Spitfire. Birdring comes to mind. Could be a number of things, but let's see. Quartermain just trying to keep his buddies up and healthy. Prophet off on a mission, but he will get topped up himself. And Dante will go down early here.
It's enormous.
There's the headshot paying off on Birdring. He's probably just holding an angle, and Dante going for peaks, going for icicles. Now you've lost Muma, and this is going to be the excellent start here for the London Spitfire on the offense.
Well, this should just be a victory for User right now. Spree is just going to get out of dodge while the getting's good. And you know what? I saw it a little bit in that control map. Dante has been really good for this team and a lot of different heroes, but he's peeking angles, he's taking odd flanks, and if London can punish it, losing your Mei early in fights and mirrored compositions like this, I believe Wolf said it's similar to losing your Zarya in a GOATS composition. You just don't have the utility that you need to be able to win fights.
Exactly, that slow is so important. And then the boards are done the wall. But really, on the defense, you shouldn't be the one peeking. You should be letting them peek into you. You hold the angles, you set up the headshots, and it's on Prophet and Birdring to take the risks. Houston Outlaws, they're going to pay for it here. This is going to be a painful one because now there's a lot of time on the clock for London Spitfire to work with on this second point. Minute 20, there's a lot more than I think even London were expecting to get. And Prophet taking Muma already.
This is an exact mirror of how London lost their very last defense. They lost their Mei early and they lost their main tank early, except in different orders this time.
Did Linkser just get boosted? I think Linkser just got boosted by Raucus as well. All right, then we'll get into this. Boink is gonna go, and this is London Spitfire tearing through the defense, and just like that, 4 points on the board for London Spitfire. Okay then.
About the fastest offense you can expect with 2:30 in the clock. You don't necessarily expect to get 4 points. There it is. Still time remaining. London just blows through it, and you see when you have these mirrored compositions into this pick-based meta as well, and you get one person, it's about it. And if Linkser got the nano boost at the end, that's not really the target you want to go to. A lot of teams are nano boosting the Orisa because it's not really about getting the damage done, and they're not ideal targets really in this composition. But you want to give your Orisa because then you have more sustainability, and then you need like it's like the emergency heal as well. And Orisa's pumping out rounds pretty quickly. It's why her ultimate is the supercharger, because you're pumping out so much damage that it's not an ideal target. So Houston forced to use it in that situation. And now, Houston, let's see what their offense looks like. Houston, for the most part, I think of as a team that's better on defense. They know how to coordinate their defense and wait for a team. It's their offenses that have struggled throughout the year. So they'll like full hold a team to like 90% and then still lose because they can't attack up to 90%. It's about their coordination and their calls that are just been failing them on offense.
Do you think, Hex, with 5 minutes on the clock, they'll be able to pick up the first point, though?
I'm not going to make a prediction. I'm not a gambling man.
Man, that's a reach. Okay, then. 5 minutes on offense for the Houston Outlaws. Let's see what they're capable of here, and let's see if the London Spitfire repeat the same mistakes on defense that we saw the first time around, namely people peeking when they shouldn't be. Because that's a good way to throw away the advantage, especially when you got Hanzo's throwing arrows around corners. One headshot, that's it, your defense is done, and sure enough, London Spitfire taking those risks. So let's see, now pushing in. There it is, body shot on Birdring, gonna force him back. Now he's gotta play passive, that's gonna turn the attention to Prophet. The shot through, Birdring, buddy, getting punished, and there's the headshot at range. Linkser right now just doing great damage. Fury gone as well, so a man advantage here for the Houston Outlaws, and London Spitfire don't really seem to have an answer.
Oof, but
Birdring,
well, he finishes off Linkser, but it's Prophet who got up on him, snuck behind him, used the wall. Prophet's still up there! How do you not know he's still up there? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, he's gone. And well, Spree on a tear. So, quick take here on the first point for the Houston Outlaws. London Spitfire. Ah, they're gone, they're gone. They're done, they're done. Birdring gets 2. It's just those feel-good 2 kills. Yeah, I did it, guys. Stats are awesome. I mean, he's got 11 final blows. Linkser actually worth pointing. Wow, didn't even look at these stats. Linkser and Dante are each sitting on a single final blow. It's the rest of the team, Spree and Muma, who are doing the work right now.
Well, again, Houston has to wait because both the players they lost in that prior fight got the bad spawn, which is all the way back at first, not after you open up the point and get the forward spawn. So right now, Houston's just going to be poking. They can't realistically go in. Ultimate's up for London, and both of their damage players, Blizzard and Dragon, at the ready. Houston a little bit away from both.
They're just chilling out. I mean, Linkster, at some point he'll hit an arrow, and then that will unlock the dragon. Fangs and all could go through on this defense. London Spitfire, though, they've got check marks coming online themselves, so it's not likely that they're going to get overwhelmed immediately. Gesture and Fury dropping very low, though. There's Birdring's dragon, rather, getting thrown into the mix.
The ult went in to try to pull people back in and just barely didn't get free.
Blizzard thrown in, though, by Prophet. That's set up with the window as well, looking to try and take advantage of it. Shield is standing, though. Solid work here on the side of Muma, keeping his team. But Boink gets overwhelmed. Raucus and Muma at half HP as well. Oh, the Bionade. Terrific work from Doshin. That's it, done and dusted. London Spitfire will hold the first push.
I mean, I think at a certain point, if you're London, you just have to let your damage players play the way they're used to. These guys are used to playing dive heroes, and they're best at those dive heroes on the flanks. Prophet's been all over on the flank.
Yeah.
Birdring has been peeking a couple times here and there, but mostly it's Prophet just being like, well, what if I go into their entire team, spin in a circle, and freeze them all? Can you guys do something after that? And they're like, yeah, maybe we can work with that.
Can I just set everything up for you?
Yeah. And he's been the fulcrum of this team and how they operate.
Well, Birdring's been there to take advantage of it as well. Happy to see. So, an attempt there by Quartermain. Chucks the lantern, but that's fine. We've got check marks online here for Houston. They've got 3 ults. They've got that dragon from Linkster. Linkster trying to set it up now, right through the point, hoping to cut him up. And Prophet caught in the middle. Fury will go down, though. That's unreal. How did Fury get blown up so quickly? He did get bionaded, so it looked like there wasn't a follow-up. He's going to go, and Quartermain as well. Quartermain took down Dante, and Birdring takes down Linkster. So the DPS down for Houston Outlaws. It's not like they've been doing a terrific amount of damage for the team, but still, I mean, that is kind of important. You need to keep those guys up.
I mean, like, at some point, though, you have to have your Hanzo get final blows. You have burst damage, you have headshots, you have arrows. May has icicles. You've got the ability to finish people off. And Linkster and Dante are combined. They have two
Two final.
One each.
2 final blows. I mean, that being said, that just shows how Muma and Spree are playing out of their minds. Raucus as well. It's 27 final blows to 35. Houston Outlaws trailing. So, I mean, they're up there in kills. It's just not that if their damage dealers could chime in here at any point, would definitely look up. So far, so good. I mean, there's still 1:15 on the clock. They're not going to be faster than the London Spitfire, that's certain. But they still have a chance to get the job done and tie it up 4-4.
Prophet going on a flanking mission on the top again, and no one's ever really even messed with Fedoshin here. He's just hanging out.
And that's the beauty of that situation. You don't really have the dive guys to go jumping on you, right? Let's see. Gesture. He's going to get frozen, but he doesn't care. He's got support from his team. They're going to keep him up. Whole Hog was used by Fury as well, so they won't have that to stall out in the end. But we're down to 45 seconds for Muma, and 2 guys go down, make that 3. Linkster's on a mission.
Hey, talk about negative Blizzard value there. They got nothing from that Blizzard. They forced out a couple of resources, but that was it. Now the hunting continues as Houston's pushed into the back corner. Muma gets isolated here, should be falling momentarily. Does just that. And Houston's got to call it back again. Last push. They have 20 seconds left.
The hook denied. Boink getting delayed. That is so painful. London are doing a good job, though, Hex. They've turned it around in terms of not giving up freebies. They aren't really giving up free kills unless they're getting value back for it. And they're doing a good job of sticking together and managing their ults. Guess what you got now to hold? You got a Prophet Blizzard. You want to try and take this point? You're not going to be able to live through it. And he's going to properly wait it out so that, hey, anybody wants to push onto this point, you're a dead man. Boink goes down. You got Muma on the flank. Muma's going to be able to touch, and he is going to be the last man here for the Houston Outlaws, and it's not going to be for long because the window pane has gone up, and that is it. London Spitfire hold on the defense, and they will extend their lead 2-0 in maps.
In a meta where damage and playmaking is so important, it was simply a matter of Birdring outplaying Linkster. They played Hanzo the entire time. Birdring with 17 final blows. Linkster finished the map at 2 single final blows.
Brutal performance. We're taking a break, and we'll hear what the halftime crew have to say right after this.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
Coming up. 冻住，不许走，不许走。Cease your resistance.
London's trying to keep a tight grip on that number 6 spot in our standings, and so far they're taking care of business in this battle. It's a Spitfire up 2-0 over the Outlaws coming into the break. Welcome back into the Blizz Arena. It's Saturday. You guys awake? Good morning, everybody. We've got good games underway, but I felt like somebody didn't let the Outlaws know that it was time to play in that first map. This was a one-sided affair in favor of the Spitfire, but it's the Outlaws who are playing for their season lives right now, guys.
Yep, if they lose, they're out of the playoff race, is what it comes down to here. But London have come out swinging, honestly. A big part of this, you know, we always ask the question, which London are we going to be seeing today? And today we're seeing a very dominant London, particularly off the back of Birdwing's play as an individual as well.
Absolutely. I would say that London have been playing towards their higher peaks. There's still something going a little weird when they're trying to defend and they're leaving Gesture out alone a little bit too much. But generally speaking, they are handling the Outlaws and everything that they're throwing at them. And Houston, you're right. There was only, 1 out of 1,000 chance of them being able to make it into the playoffs. I don't know the actual number, but it was something like that. But it had to start with a win today against the London Spitfire. It doesn't look great for them.
You have to win out for the rest of the season, which means you
kind
now
of hope other stuff happens
have
too.
to pull off some major upsets in this second half. But let's talk about that second map, Bren. We went to Volskaya, and it was a very fast time from London, but then Houston put up some good numbers of their own.
Yeah, it was looking pretty good, honestly, for Houston early on. I mean, it was actually London with the worst starting time when they were capping both of these points.
Yeah.
Houston clapped back with a massive time bank, but unfortunately just couldn't quite clinch it out. And I mean, that's the nature of the assault map. Sometimes you do just snowball off the back of 1 or 2 picks. And you can definitely see Houston, I mean, they're kind of getting to grips as well of the meta, but they need to get grips faster than they already have, honestly, because if they don't pull it back now after this half, they're going to be in trouble. You know, their playoff hopes are going to be dead in the water. But we have seen moments of brilliance.
That's so nice from Spree.
Like Spree here, yeah, getting the 2 environmental kills. You don't see that every day.
And I think part of the reason that this went so long as well, with the end score being 4-3, is that both teams are playing Orisa Hog rather than Orisa Diva, which means that you're able to get the picks when you're on attack,
right.
And then once the defending team has lost one person, it's kind of over. So you end up just racking up scores. Whereas if you play Orisa Diva, it's a bit easier to defend, but not quite as easy to attack.
Who's been the most impressive player from the Spitfire so far in this match?
Probably Birdwing, I would say.
Yeah, I would say
honestly.
Birdwing.
But which is weird, right? He's usually quite hit or miss, but today we're getting a very, very on-fire Birdwing. He's absolutely dominating the Hanzo duel.
I liked him on Reaper, love him on Hanzo. Well, before the match, we wanted to check in with the community and see, we're getting down to the wire here, guys. There's only 2 weeks left in Stage 4. So we asked, with only 3 weeks left in the season, let's ask the what-if questions. What are the biggest what-ifs, as if I played for the Dallas Fuel? What would happen? What if I carried them to victory? Well, here we have Le Name has arrived. Dude, what if Washington Justice managed to 4 over the Vancouver Titans?
Man, that's crazy.
That was just a week ago.
Whoa, what if that happened? Oh, wait.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
What if we cloned me 5 times, replaced the Boston Uprising with Brennan as clones? Surely Uprising would finish the season in the top 6. Honestly, Joseph, you're completely correct. I genuinely think that I could compete with a lot of top teams.
It's a 2-2-2 meta. Maybe in all snipers, you'd stand a chance. I don't think that's true at all. What if Sideshow Gaming replaced Dogman and his Mega Feeding Zen actually propelled Atlanta to the grand final?
I could totally see that happening. I mean, I think Atlanta are the dark horse of Stage 4 anyway, and with me on the roster rather than Dogman, I think they'd just have a bit more solidification.
You can't say it, you don't mean it. All right, let's move on. What if MLG Puckett and Malik were in the desk on the same day? Well, I want to be on the desk. Not inside
in the desk.
But if Malik
Like
and I
a
were
coffin.
in the desk, I hope it'd be a great skit.
Actually, Puckett and Malik are the same person. You've never seen them in the room together.
Never seen them in a room together.
Yeah, they're actually the same person. They're just wearing a mask.
Is it true? We'll find out. Also, I got to hear from you guys before we go. We got a lot of Outlaws fans in the venue. Is there any faith? Can Houston bring this back? There's still some love for Houston. We'll find out if they can pull this one back from the brink. They need to win 3 maps straight.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
That's a good look right there. I think you're done. Stack it up. Anybody who watches Overwatch knows that Cool Matt and Raucus from the Houston Outlaws have the best hair in the game. So I'm on my way to pick up the boys for some style tips. It's access granted, driven by Toyota. What's up, boys? How important is your hair, Matt?
I mean,
You wouldn't let your mom do it.
I wouldn't let my mom do it, you know?
Would you let me do it?
No, I wouldn't let you. I wouldn't trust you with it either.
What's the work-life condition for you guys? Because you don't have one of the giant team houses like, say, the Gladiators.
Our team values personal time a lot, right? And so a lot of us are a little bit older. We have girlfriends. So the team house lifestyle doesn't really apply to us. We go into the office. We're there, 10 hours a day, still just like everyone else. But instead of going to like our room, we just go to our apartment.
How long do you think you've been a pro player?
I would rather consider it like when you made enough money to live off of. So probably maybe like 3 years.
The day I signed the contract, I quit my job. There was no point. I had no other decisions to make. So it was like, I'm going to put all my time into this. It's my new job. And I don't want any distractions, right? That's how I treated it.
Yeah. Hi. I'll just like push it back like that. Yeah, just like that, really, yeah.
Okay. And then I just leave the top long and just like it hangs over. So
what do you do?
I play video games. That's our job. Yeah, we play it for a living, like competitively. So we play on stage in the Burbank studios, actually.
I keep it simple. Classic short on the side, long on the top. I'm not gonna be like Raucus getting like down to my shoulder. That's crazy.
What? You copied my style.
I actually thought you were trying to copy me.
I had long hair before you. I like this stuff.
Let's do it. So what do you think, boys?
I think it's clean. Looking pretty clean.
Look good, feel good, you know?
Well, big shout out to Raucus and Cool Matt for all the hairstyle tips, helping me stay on top of my game. This was Access Granted, driven by Toyota.
I mean, I was impressed with Raucus's hair, but Cool Matt, man, he brings the hair game to a whole different level.
He's always been the coolest of Mats in my book. The best thing that Houston has going for it right now is their hair game. It's always been strong, no doubting on that one. However, the actual gameplay has left a little bit something to be desired.
Yeah, Hex, where's Jake?
Who
What's
knows?
going on?
Who knows? Is that going to
What
be the new...
is happening? There are others. I feel like this is the same thing that we've had in the past, where it's just like there are other people on the bench that could be playing.
Could be.
And that statistically you do better with. But
Houston has not had statistical success with Lynx or Dante as their damage dealers in the lineup. They simply haven't.
yeah, that's a bit of a tough one. It's a bit of a tough one right now for the Houston Outlaws. They're battling uphill. And, well, Kings Row is going to be next here, Hex. So we're going to see hybrid map. We're going to get that point control as well as the payload push.
Yeah, Houston Outlaws came in unlikely to make the play-ins as it was, but there was still hope. There was still a chance. You can't lose this one, though. London needs it to lock in their top 6. They're definitely going to be in our top 12 for sure, but London only 2 matches remain. This one and then one against Atlanta, which is no guarantee. So you'd really like to lock up this one against the Houston Outlaws as we head into Kings Row, one of the Outlaws' better maps. 4-2 record, the Spitfire, 5-1. As we go to our London-based map, Future London, where hopefully the food has gotten better.
Definitely not. Come on.
Hey, I like fish and chips as much as the next guy.
Well,
Yeah,
actually,
let's branch out.
London is actually solid. It's the rest of the UK.
Ah, okay.
London is fine.
Hey, man, I'll have me a shepherd's pie any day of the week.
I mean, that's what they, it's always about, oh, the different foods that we get in London. It's true, yes, you can get all sorts of food in London. It all costs an arm and a leg, just like here in Los Angeles. So if you like spending a lot of money on food that's good, it's all right. Go to London.
All right, Kings Row here as the defense comes out. Nothing out of the ordinary for either squad here. We're going to be seeing a lot of Hanzo May. Lynxer has to have a better duel against Birdring than he did in our prior map. He's got to start getting some solo kills. And I know there's always a lot of pressure on Lynxer to be that carry, but that's because he has that potential.
It's a toughie. I mean, it's a shame that he has to play Hanzo because I would really like to see him on Widow or just playing to his strengths right now on side of Lynxer. Just give him, I mean, he is supposed to be your hit scan, your mechanically guy. And we're not seeing that from him. Instead, we're seeing him play a projectile hero.
Well, he's not terrible at projectile. He does play a little bit of Genji. Plays some Pharah, but not to the level that Jake can.
Hex, are we married couple again? It's like, yes, he does play other heroes. He just doesn't play them as well as his freaking sniper.
I'm just trying to,
We've been together a while. It's all right.
Yeah, that's all right.
We'll work it out. It's gonna be rough. All right, we're getting into this now. London Spitfire.
Familiarity breeds content. Early on, though, a couple of kills, only 2 actually. Dante will be the second to fall, and that is going to be London simply rolling right through. Not a great deal to speak of there. Spree died, Dante died, and then Houston just hit the eject button, got out of there.
And that is it.
I was just busy trying to save my marriage up.
Well, she took me to a nice dinner every now and again. London Spitfire, they know how to eat. They have devoured that defense. They've got it in 5 minutes in the bank, and now the push begins slowly but surely. The payload making its way forward. London Spitfire are going to lose this fight, but it's not the end of days.
Yeah, Fury gets a little bit out there, and he gets caught in a rotation. Houston sent everybody through. Able to catch him out, freeze him, and close it down. So this is actually pretty decent for Houston, and this is why you retreat in the swift manner in which Houston did, is so you can come back and fight right around this bend, and then if you win that fight, you get to control the archway. And even before May was seen in every single composition, May right here was really good because the ice wall through the archway really helped.
So annoying. Well, dragon on dragon action. A lot of damage getting dealt here to London Spitfire. It's forcing the Lantern out of quarter main just to keep everybody up. And so far, Lynx are going to be able to remove that, but no kills. Both teams survive, and Doshin still got that trance. Dante's going to have, exactly, there it is. The Blizzard ticks online as I say it. So Now, instead of seeing the graph, you're waiting for the graph, and then there's going to be the trance, etc. Now you're seeing a lot of Blizzard into trance, because the trance will heal through the Blizzard damage, and hopefully keep your teammates up. Doshin even going for the body block on Fury, just to make it harder to get the shots.
It's a nice hook by Spree. Is going to kick it off on a Gesture, and that should open things up with no shields. You'd have to imagine the rest of London will fall. They lock themselves in the pub and get rocked.
Oh, buddy. Painting the walls. A nice bright, well, that's like motor oil or whatever. I mean, but whatever comes out of the ocean. But
it was actually a really cool play by Prophet. He had a really nice setup over the top to do a flanking Blizzard there, but the problem was that Houston is actually able to get value out of their Blizzard that time. Dante able to throw it in, and the equal trades come out, and the moment you lose your main tank against a Roadhog who's firing Whole Hog, it's not going to go real well for you. Switches here, Birdwing off of the Hanzo, goes over to the Reaper.
Up close, knows there's the big beef. He knows that there's the tanks here to just get in his way. What better do? How better to handle that than shotguns point blank? Monstrous damage can be dealt immediately, and so he's hoping that he'll be able to get up close and personal here with some of the Houston Outlaws players.
Birdwing and Prophet are behind. They're isolated, and I think that they're caught out here.
Oh, but this is an interesting thing. This is where Houston Outlaws, they're showing some discipline. I like that. Instead of overextending and perhaps giving up a kill that will cost them a lot more than it cost London, they just say, right, you guys are there, that's fine, we know where you are, we're gonna regroup and reset. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him. Muma dies, but I still think that was the correct call.
It's tricky to say, because now it looks like the bad call, because now London come back in and roll them over, right?
Yeah.
So in retrospect, the issue is like, so the question, I mean, as this goes on, London's going to just clean this up. There's only 3 alive for Houston, so they should be able to grab second point. But the problem was that Prophet and Birdwing were in a small, isolated area. So if you chase them in, Prophet's going to wall you up, and maybe you die there. However, you have a 6v2, so at some point you think, we need to hunt these guys down, and we can't let them just stay alive. It's really, it's tough to call either way, right? If it wasn't a Mei, you go after that 100% of the time.
I see Spree doing a lot of the talking. I'm wondering if, in terms of, are they quick and concise with their calls? Because that could be a leadership thing where it's just like, right, get him right now. Or it was a bit of flip-flop and they weren't sure, and then by the time they made up their minds, it was too late because they're going to get flanked. So, I mean, not to throw Houston under the bus, but London Spitfire now, they've got some check marks on. Doshin is shining the path, but the window pane goes in, and Spree is about to do some crazy damage through it. Not going to have many shields long here, and he is looking for the flank. He's got Whole Hog as well. Birdwing has to dodge out using the Wraith form.
Well, they've already lost Prophet. There goes Fury. Nice wall comes up late. A nice flashbang and kill. Linkser gets in there. He's on the McCree now of all things, so now he's playing to his strengths like you asked for.
That's all I want, Hex.
I mean,
they're to play their best.
You bring up a good question with Houston, though, because there's how many montages has this league put on about Jake talks a lot, Jake communicates a lot, Jake yap, yap, yap. And now he's not on there, and so, you know, how is the communication structure for Houston without what is considered largely to be the poster boy, the lead?
I'm wondering. That is the question. I'm trying to keep an eye on it because we do have the player cams, and we can see the players here on the stage. But, you know, Spree doing a lot of talking right now. So I'm assuming he's taking over the role. But now you're going to have that sound barrier thrown in here from the London Spitfire. Quartermain deciding now's the time to go. Trance used by Raucus, and now you're going to have the bongos down thrown here from Muma. Self-destruct on Raucus, though, so unfortunate.
What are you doing back here, Birdwing? Dying.
That's the key, that's the answer. Oh! Not gonna get it, that shield, so long as the shield is up. And they will survive the high noon. Linkser, though, gonna get beamed down. Gesture there with the kill, but you've also got Doshin chiming in. Now where do you go if you're the Houston Outlaws? Great Blizzard thrown in here by Dante. That might buy a little bit of time here for his team to stabilize.
It's gonna buy time, but everyone dancing around the edges now. It's a skirmish all over the place as the front lines and back lines collide.
Do they have the second? Yes, Linkser goes for it. He's on the Doom. Boink is gone, though, and Linkser still chilling out on the point. There's the Blossom, though, from Birdwing. Gets 3 kills, and that is going to be it. London Spitfire going to pick up 3. You got Dante trying to do the best he can, but it will be 3 points picked up on the offense for the London Spitfire. That was a scrappy fight at the end.
3 with over a minute, and London's last engagement was super strong when you're running this kind of composition. You boost in with the Lucio, you got a preemptive sound barrier, and everyone says just fight. Just pick a target, go after him. Birdwing's in the back line that you don't even expect back there, so that pulls Linkser back. He's got to go deal with that. Now there's some distractions. Everyone else is picking up kills, and it just seems like in a scattered fight, I don't want to fight London because they're scrappier than Houston is.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
洗澡。
And so we're back on London with the Spitfire on home turf, picking up 3 points. Looking good doing it. It's a scrappy push at the end, but Birdring, yeah, this is where you start to see this new teleport get put into play. Into the back line he goes, and he just murders everybody.
And this is why I think Birdring got better at Reaper. I was watching him play on Mecha Base on Busan yesterday, and it seemed like he had set spots for this new teleport ability, where he would like jump to a spot and land exactly where he wanted. It's a little bit quicker, so it just made me think, oh, he's been in the lab on this Reaper. He's been working on it. He's been practicing it. And so he had plays like that. That one's obviously to get you right into the back corner, so that's why I think his Reaper has definitely improved.
I like it, Hex. I like that you mentioned that as well in the lab. Everybody tends to think, oh, they just play all day. It's like, actually, 90% of these guys, it's just them working. Yeah. It's not playing the way that you and I think about playing, right? So it's open, and that is the kind of hard work that will pay off for Birdring. So 3 points picked up, minute 14 in the bank for London Spitfire, and now we're here with the Houston Outlaws. They do yank Gesture into his demise, but Birdring trades it back. Spree is gone, no longer have the hooks. The window pane down already as well. Dante decided he doesn't want to have anything to do with that.
Running the Ana on this defense here as well, so Bedosian is going to be on the high ground. That's why they early rotated out with this Symmetra to get him up there. Dante just chilling.
Eventually he'll hit something. This is a Tracer player on May.
Denies the reinforcements, though. It's going to take them a second to get back in. But Houston does not go for the throat here while they had a 2-tank advantage.
Yeah, it felt like they could have potentially moved in, but they're waiting for it. Dante brings them into it. And there's the Blizzard. Shot should be down onto Fury. Yep, removed. And this is going to be a take here for the Houston Outlaws. 2 minutes 40 in the bank, and they are going to pick up the first points on London.
Eventually, Houston will roll on through there. Changes now. Birdring goes to that Reaper instead of the Hanzo. Bedosian staying on the Ana for the moment, very likely for a nano boost. He's already got it worked up. Let's see if Houston can continue to roll. Of course, London already completed the map, so if Houston does not complete the map, that's the series, and the Spitfire will take it. We'll play a ceremonial show match of a map 4.
Profit. Gotta check out up top. Dragon is in now. Linkster decided it's time to open it up, and without the Lantern there, 2 go down on the side of the London Spitfire. Quartermain, unfortunately for him, he'll have to hold on to that ultimate and die quickly. Yep, he's gone. Birdring the same. They're just throwing themselves in here, London, for a very quick reset. So if you think, hey, they're being very aggressive, it's like, yes, they want to die. They want to go back and respawn. I know.
Same. The payload ends up moving a little bit slowly here too, so London is losing that fight so that they can fight around this corner. You don't want it prolonged, but it should still only be maybe one fight. I think Houston's doing a really good job with this forward posturing position, because if London comes out here and wins this fight, it's possible that cart rolls back and now into second bend. But it does seem like they're just waiting for a one good fight. Charger out for movement.
Yeah, deciding now's the time to fight. Blizzard thrown in here by Profit. Trying to create some space. Linkster, great support coming in. That's Raucous with the Trance. So again, we're seeing the Zenyatta's hold on to the Transcendence just to counter out that Maeve damage, the Blizzard damage, and the follow-up onto it. Quartermain picked, but Profit, there we go, finally finding some kills.
And the Blizzard does come down now, and there's going to be a couple more kills as Spree continues to roll through for this squad, and they finally sort of get some final blows from Linkster out of this Hanzo. He now leads his team in final blows. That's what you needed for our Finnish friend to show up here.
Indeed, you're right. He's finally woken up. So, Dragon online for him as well. So he's going to be calling it. He knows he needs to communicate to his team where London are setting up. He's the eyes in the sky right now. But London are deciding right in front, and nice focus fire coming in from London. And that is going to force the Houston Outlaws to give some ground and back off. Dante with the wall is going to keep the rest of his team up.
Nice wall traps him in, nice wall gets him out. Yep. It has somewhat become reminiscent of 3-3, where now I think teams are figuring out order of operations.
Yes.
Save transfer Blizzard, very much save transfer Crab. I mean, there's a lot of parallels between the Mei being alive and the Zarya being alive, and the utility and how this all works.
They've just replaced it. Like, haha, you tried to change the game on us? No, we're still bringing goats back. Let's get into it now. Birdring, he's going to get the Blossom, and he gets a point-blank kill. Spree, gone. And some very aggressive play coming out here from London. Don't want it to cost you. Eventually. So now you do get to back off, and an early offense like this, or offensive defense, I guess, coming in from London Spitfire, it's going to burn valuable time off the clock. London, or Houston rather, they started this push with 5. So 3:30 in the bank now.
Prophet and Birdring have taken aggressive angles on this damage duo here. They're just fighting outside. They will isolate Movement. I don't know if this is enough to go for. Fortify comes in, and that puts the rest of your team at risk. Fury is going to be the one who falls.
And now we got a Linkser once again on the McCree. I love it. Let the man play to his strengths. Let him wreak havoc and find kills. Another one for him that puts him up to 10 final blows. And this is where you get to start to see Linkser really come into his own. He's going to click on heads.
It works well enough with this composition too, and this stun can be good for Reaper. It's really good against Mei. Also a single headshot on Reaper usually pulls him into Wraith form as well. It expends resources, so the Hanzo is usually to break shields and spam rounds, but if you're going to walk over shields because the other team's being too aggressive, then what's it matter?
Yeah, because I think he picked up 4 kills in that fight, but it's just, this is where Linkser is. He's up to 12 final blows now, and this is where he gets to shine. And now with the, you can even have the High Noon out here as well on this long alley to just keep London Spitfire off the point.
I thought they got him up top with Dante. They didn't, but Dante gets that Reaper away from up top, so they don't have to worry about being dropped on now. And that wall's going to evaporate in the face of the Ant Matrix. Going fishing.
Prophet gone, whole hog thrown in. Now Quartermain split second too late with the sound barrier. It is creating an opportunity here for Birdring to get into the back line, and Doshin finds a kill. So Raucus and Boink dead. Both supports gone for Houston Outlaws. Means that's the end of this push. They are not going to survive it.
I mean, I do love how Birdring plays this Reaper. He doesn't play it like everybody else who's just going to the front line with the rest of his team, like smashing faces. He is all over the place, and he will play that front line with you. Like, oh, we have a wall and a blizzard? Okay, I'm with you. Oh, we don't? Then I'm in the back line, and I'm playing Tracer against this team on the Reaper, and he's all over the place, and it's something you have to account for. Right, Death Blossoms, but Transcendence comes out, knock him into the air and away from everybody as well.
Yeah, they just had a great answer there. Instant reaction from the Houston Outlaws to counter the Death Blossom. Linkser, though, has to be careful. Raucus looking for a pick. He's going to chuck a volley in. 2 kills for the London Spitfire. Now is when it starts to get dicey here, Hex. It started so strong for the Houston Outlaws. They looked like nothing could stop them, but they're down to 1:10 on the clock. That's less in the bank than London Spitfire picked up 3 with.
Not to be ultra anticlimactic, but if Houston doesn't win, like, with some time left, then yeah, I mean, the best they can hope for is a draw, and that means London is the series here. So,
and it's also worth mentioning, eliminated from the playoffs run for Houston Outlaws. It's everything on the line here. No pressure, guys. But you got to come up with a W here if you want to keep a chance.
They have to win this fight.
The playoffs.
They have to win this fight because they can't win in overtime. They can't complete the map in overtime. They have to go right now. It has to happen.
Wall goes in. Gesture jumping around. He's so excited. And there's the Prophet with the Blizzard as well. Down to 30 seconds on the clock. Lynx are going to get overwhelmed. Dante as well. They just throw themselves off the side now, trying to go for the quick reset on the side of Houston Outlaws. Oh, this stagger would be big if they could find Muma. Not quite going to happen. Hey, well, down to 15 seconds. And look at all the ground that Houston Outlaws have to cover. And you've got the wall trap set up here as well from Prophet. Yep. He was hoping for him, but looks away for a second. That's going to cost him.
It doesn't matter. The Blizzard's going to go down and just simply lock them out. Even if Houston pulls this one off, it'll be tough for them to win the entire map.
Oh, that's so annoying. Oh, and Dante, he eats it, or rather Fury eats Dante's Blizzard. Linkser and Blink are gone. Houston Outlaws, they will not be going to the playoffs. They will not get the chance. The London Spitfire, the defending champions from the 2018 Overwatch League season, will deny the Houston Outlaws. 3-0, they will win the series, but we will go to our map 4. And Spree, got to play the match there. Play the game.
Yes, a small consolation prize, map 4, right after this.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
不洗澡。
And there you have it. London, once again on your screen. Doing well. 3-0 win so far over the Houston Outlaws. We have one last map to play though, Hanks. One last map to get through here for London to be able to go home, pat themselves on the back and say another job's work done today.
And how fitting that they get to close it out on Route 66, which is where it all fell apart against Vancouver. Houston, historically awful on Route 66. I think we had a small celebration last year when they got to second point at one time. It was the furthest they'd ever been on Route 66. So you have two teams going opposite directions here. Another tough loss for the Houston Outlaws, and you kind of have to wonder where their leader is.
Where is Jake? That is the question. I mean, we've been building it up all season long, last season too. I mean, it's always been the question. Jake seems like the linchpin for the team, and yet here when his team need him most, he's nowhere to be found. At least it's Linkster and Dante, all 4 maps.
At least the face of the franchise. I mean, I don't think anyone can really argue with that one. And I don't know, Houston, you can have this idea, but like, where's Waldo? Where's Jake? Just make it green, green striped shirt, like you kind of circle it, you know, we'll see.
Are we gonna go through the studio later and try to find him?
Yeah, we'll take a picture of the Blizzard Arena right now.
Jake.
Up here from our little nest, we'll take a panoramic picture, and then you can circle Jake if you can find him.
And the answer is he's nowhere.
Yeah, it's a trick. It's a trick book that we give you. There's actually not it there.
But how much time are you gonna spend looking at it? Houston Outlaws on the defense, London Spitfire on the offense, and Prophet, initially at least, was on the Widow. Now we're going to get the swap. Birdring is going to go over to it, and Linkster. We finally get to see Linkster on some Widow. I like it. Missed the first shot. That's unfortunate, but still going to be going for the snipes.
Hello there.
Well, I mean, the map doesn't mean a whole lot, especially for Houston. London is always worried about differential, of course. I don't know if London's ever worried about anything. It's kind of why I like this team. They feel pretty loose. But something to track now in map 4, at least some fun, it'd be the Widow duel. See who gets the better of this one.
Yeah, keeping eyes on it. So far, no kills for either Widow. 2 kills for Raucus. Is this Doa channeling the bloodthirsty support? Like, yes, Raucus, yes. He's like the Sith Lord.
Yeah, he's even got his own segment now. Did you see that? Doa bloodthirsty support segment.
I'm glad, I'm glad.
It's 2 years in the making.
Just so many memes. The number of times that we have had to have that conversation, Doa. But man advantage or not.
Well, London's still trying to come out of their own spawn here. Oh, nope. It's a nice defensive wall there from Prophet.
We are looking for the first pick here on the side of the wall. There it is. You're looking for the first pick on the side of London Spitfire. If they can get a kill, it's going to hurt the defense a whole lot more than it's going to hurt the offense, because the offense spawn right there at the doors. It's going to take plays from the man like Linkster to turn it around. He needs to come up with the goods quick. 2 kills here could help to buy some time.
I don't even know how Prophet
Beautiful.
got there. Prophet was back at the Widow spot. That's how Linkster got him. Prophet rotated all the way around and went all the way back.
Oh, man. Ooh, awkward. Still having to give some ground. Let's see. The rest of them, yeah, it's only 4 left alive here for the Houston Outlaws, and that's just not enough for them to hold close, but that doesn't mean that they don't get the challenge again before the first point. So there you can see them giving ground, see their outlines through the walls. The players can't see those outlines until Widows use their ultimates. We do. But you can see, Houston Outlaws setting up, looking for that high ground perhaps to challenge again here.
Now Birdring is going to be the first one to be able to actually see through walls at 80% from Notion. Out in no man's land, didn't sense the rotation coming, just gets caught out.
Melted, holy smokes. Raucus.
Probably just yeets in the blizzard, trying to get something done, but Immortality Field and Transcendence will mean that everybody survives the harsh winter.
It's a mean combo, that. It's a mean combo. Denial of plays. No fun allowed. There's the sun. Oh, he gets it.
Why is Spree back there?
What you doing with that whole hog? Prophet just ate you whole.
And if you have the All Access Pass right now, I definitely advise you to tune in and watch the overhead, because these players are just playing very strange angles. They end up in very strange spots. If not, 60 seconds remain here for the London offense.
This is so key for London right now, and I think this is also why we're just seeing them kind of float around. I'm not feeling the sense of urgency from them. I mean, this is that 4th map. They're going to come up with something clever here, perhaps everybody on the high ground. But they're pretty much solid now for the playoffs. It was all about coming in here, picking up the win today.
Right.
They're on the cusp of the play-ins into playoffs, right, in that 6th position. Yeah. If they keep getting wins, they'll lock it down. They've already got this one. Now they just got to take down Atlanta Reign.
That should be a good one.
And they're going to be sitting pretty.
I'm already looking forward
to the playoffs.
Already looking forward to that match because Atlanta's been playing so well lately. But still have a little bit of time here left to go. Transcendence comes in. The Imperv like goes. And Birdring takes down Linkser. It's their first Widow v Widow.
I think so. That's Birdring, that's Birdring's 2nd kill. But they turn it around. Houston Outlaws wiping the floor with the London Spitfire. This is as far as the London Spitfire will go. End of the offense. Not even a single push picked up, and the Houston Outlaws can't even believe it themselves. Yeah, get your smiles where you can, Hex. You get your smiles where you can if you're the Houston Outlaws.
Boom is always full of smiles. Always a very, very, very positive.
Well, but hold on. I'm being told that we actually have Mika. She's got a bit of a hit for us here about Jake.
Hey guys, Mika here. I know you have been asking, where is Jake? Why haven't we seen Jake? Well, I got to talk to the team during the half, and unfortunately, the only official comment I have from them is no comment. So that's all for me. Back to you guys.
Still, it's better than nothing. Thank you, Mika.
Yeah,
no comment. I mean, that could...
But here's what no comment doesn't mean. That he's sick. That he's hurt. That, you know, like, because if he's sick, you just say, like, oh, he's not feeling well, so he's not going to play. I mean, no comment means a lot of things. Look, I was an English major for, like, 7 years. Like, hey, before you laugh, that was 2 degrees, all right? That was 2 degrees. It didn't take me 7 years to get a bachelor's degree. All right? So you intone things. There's connotation. There's a lot to be done with the English language, and sometimes no comment is the biggest comment you can make.
Oh, there we go. Speculation, a little bound. I'll be sure to check the Reddit later. But
I should really figure out a better way to phrase that.
No, not at all. I think it's great. I think you should totally be proud of studying the English language for something.
I already spoke it too. Like, exactly. What a scam.
Well, here we go. It's going to be the second half here on Route 66. Houston Outlaws now on the offense, London Spitfire on the defense, and they don't have far to go for the Houston Outlaws. London Spitfire, this is the standard way to approach the defense. We saw Houston do it. Hold close to the cart early and see if they can get some picks. And Hex, not to knock it, but I am proud of you. That's solid. I don't even have a degree, so I mean, you're already ahead of me there. English or not. Oh, buddy. Links are gone.
So gets yoinked out. Both of the damage dealers deciding not to do the Widow duel right now. Birdring and Linkser have gone over to the Bowman. Some archery classes happening now.
It's the dance. But are they friends? We'll find out as Jester gets yanked in. Jester not going to be going for that hook ride. And they're just looking for picks right now. Spree out in the open, but he couldn't care less. He's a big old hog. And, well, there we go. Birdring with the headshot on Muma. But that's the wrong team. We want teams on the defense, players on the defense to be going down here. Not like this, London.
I mean, Houston's getting kind of bopped around right now. Point goes for the Baptiste flank. Doesn't always work. In fact, almost never works. But.
He's got mad hops, but then you're just a predictable target for the likes of Birdring and Prophet. They're going to pick you out of the sky, no worries. This is really tough here. I mean, they're just looking for the first kill on the side of Houston.
My ultimate is ready.
Once again, it's going to be very difficult for the defense to make up for that kill. If the offense go down, they don't care. Dancing on the edge there, Birdring playing with fire.
Still got the dragon ready to go. Don't want to get picked off before this dragon comes out at the very least. Nice wall there.
Throws it in, and he's going to go point blank into the fight. Oh, the hook gets denied. 2.0. Linkser survives it, but not for long. Birdring with the flank shot. Birdring goes down to Muma, though. This is what we were waiting for here for the Houston Outlaws. They've got a kill on the board. Still 3 check marks to play with on the side of London Spitfire, though. They could still take this fight if they wanted to, if they were feeling bold, and they do. Whole hog in on the side of Fury. Notion with the boost as well. Fury going to get frozen. That's Dante with the blizzard. So we are making some real progress now for the Houston Outlaws. chance for them to save their honor.
3 people from London get pulled back. They get cut off from their team and quickly dispatched. That will be a full team kill for the Houston Outlaws, finally giving their fans something to cheer about at least a little bit as they round the bend here. Not much further to go to be able to take Route 66, which, you know, generally Houston has struggled doing, but find something, some positive to take away from this match.
Let's see. Save the honor, Hex. That's what it's all about right now. Ending at 3-1 and not with the goose egg. Spree with the whole hog as well, can just block the door off. There's the blizzard thrown in, and there it is. Perfectly done. Whole hog right out the gates. They are still getting contested. It's 2 that work their way around the other side here. Prophet and Ocean, both of them die right on the edge, and Houston Outlaws, the last second contest from Fury, but it's not going to be for long. And the Houston Outlaws will pick up a map win here versus the London Spitfire at the very end. Yep, Linkser, that's right, you did it. They got one map off of London.
Yeah, even when Houston loses, it's always good to see Linkser smile. Just a happier guy, got some headshots there, had a rough matchup there, but the big story here is that the London Spitfire still stay alive for this top 6 especially.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, they don't really want to do the play-in because London's been such a volatile team, so up, so down, that you'd rather not mess around with a single elimination play-in tournament just to get to the playoffs. You get that top 6, you're already set, already in the playoffs.
I agree with you there, Hex. Get into the playoffs. Anything is possible in the playoffs, but now at least you've managed to cut out a little bit of the extra work that the other teams are going to have to do. They have to run that gauntlet now if they're playing in. Nobody wants to be in that position.
Well, I mean, the issue with the play-ins is you have a lot of teams that are just getting hot now who are just kind of struggling. I mean, do you want to play Chengdu for your playoff life? I don't. I mean, I want to cast. I want to watch it.
I want to cast
Yeah,
Chengdu in that playoff spot. Yeah, I think everybody wants to watch that one.
Yeah, but London looking happy right now. And I mean, this is a team that I think they play their best when they're the loosest. There's always that story we talked about last year of when they were going into the playoffs as a late seed. They had their bags packed and were like, hey, it was fun playing the season. And then they win the championship.
Now we're going to go ahead and hear from, I believe, Gesture. Danny's ready with the interview.
Summoner Hex, thank you very much. Everybody make some noise for Gesture and London Spitfire for the win. Great job. Are you feeling good? You look kind of sad. 좀 슬퍼 보이는데 기분 좋으신가요?
아, 기분 아주 좋습니다.
Okay, never mind. I thought Gesture was pretty sad, but he wasn't. He's feeling actually really great. Well, congratulations on your win. You guys are actually coming out from two very difficult losses against the Vancouver Titans and the Florida Mayhem. But today you guys were able to turn things around against Houston Outlaws. What happened in between, after the 2 losses, what happened and how were you guys able to pull off a victory today? 일단 2연패였죠? 밴쿠버 팀과 플로리다 메이엠에게 좀 연패를 당하고 그다음에 오늘 좀 승리를 하시게 되는데 그 2연패 좀 어떻게 돼서 지게 됐고 또 오늘은 또 어떻게 해서 승리를 거두시게 되는지 설명 좀 부탁드릴게요.
일단 밴쿠버전 제 생각엔 좀 아쉽게 진 것 같고 그리고 메이엠전 때 저희가 메타를 정확히 파악을 못했기 때문에 지금 메타가 순식간에 많이 바뀌고 있어서 그때 파악을 못해서 진 것 같고 그런 것 같습니다.
So against the Vancouver Titans, I think the easiest way for me to say is it was just a bit unlucky. Against the Florida Mayhem, at that moment in time, our team really didn't have a good grasp of the meta itself of the current stage. So we were having a difficult time. We had a difficult understanding of what the meta was, so that's why we kind of suffered the loss against Florida Mayhem. Alrighty, well, after today, you have one more match coming up for the regular season, and after that, you guys will be going into the season playoffs. How are you guys going to prepare so that you guys could actually win everything again for the season playoffs? 자, 이제 좀 있으면은 이제 다음 경기 아틀란타 레인과의 경기를 마치게 되면은 이제 시즌 프로비 진행이 될 텐데 한 일주일 정도 기간이 있어요, 런던 팀이. 좀 그 기간을 어떻게 잘 사용을 해서 시즌 프로를 가서 좀 어떻게 잘 하실 수 있을까요?
일단 플레이오프 가기 전 단계에서는 저희가 연습도 하면서 혹시 플레이오프 때 메타가 바뀔 수도 있으니까 그런 것도 좀 연구를 하면서 저희가 미리 좀 앞서 나가는 팀이 되게끔 연습을 많이 할 것 같아요.
So we're actually going to be practicing a lot. So there is a chance that the meta itself could be shifted. So we're actually going to be studying and analyzing the meta itself and putting a lot of practice so we could bring out a lot of good results. Alrighty, thank you so much, Gesture. Casters, back to you guys.
Thank you, Danny, and thank you to Gesture, and also thank you to Gesture for the insightful response there, especially to the question at the end. Teams can be leery about, what's your strategy going forward? I mean, the guy's going to be like, why am I going to tell you that? That may help my opponents. You know, thanks for a gesture, you know, just saying, hey, we might think that there'd be a meta change.
It kind of
We're gonna be on
explains. It's very candid to explain the last couple losses. A little unlucky against Vancouver. You can say that they were up and then they ended up losing. And then Florida just, hey, we weren't ready, we weren't prepared. And Florida's also playing better, so it's not that big of a deal.
Florida looking up, Washington looking up, all sorts of teams. Shanghai, obviously Shanghai. But let's take a look at our season standings here. And Spitfire now, I mean, Spark have been on a downward spiral for a while now. But Spitfire, at least they move up a slot thanks to this win. You can see the Houston Outlaws, though. They got that red tag.
Yeah, off to the clearance rack. Red tag special for the Houston Outlaws. Spitfire jumped the Spark, and they move all the way up, and now with a nice little cushion there as well. I think if the Spark fall here, that the Spitfire should feel pretty comfortable at their top 6 spot. And this is a team that, peaking at the right time, is a very, very dangerous squad. Again, our returning champions. They didn't look the champion all year last year. They looked very good, but not always in championship form. So you never know with this Spitfire team to turn it up, which is why we always make excuses for this team when they lose.
That is exactly it. I mean, you've got Atlanta Reign currently in 10th spot. That's going to be their next match. They're nipping at their heels. Well, let's take a look at our owned by HP player of the match now, and it's going to be Birdring. And really, this is what the meta is encapsulated by. Damage dealers. And on Volskaya, that's what showed up. Houston Outlaws, Linkster and Dante, nowhere to be found. London Spitfire, Birdring and Prophet, Birdring in particular, just running amok. I mean, he dominated this map.
He had 2 very good two performances on the 2 heroes that you really need him to be on right now. That he can play the Reaper and he can play the Hanzo. And those are the most meta damage dealers right now. Also, we know he can flex to the Widow when need be, but I think he put in a lot of work on his Reaper to get better. His Hanzo was great today, and we all know what Prophet can do. Prophet can't do it all alone. Not in Overwatch. It's almost impossible to do it all alone. And so Birdring having a really good game today is, I think, really, really bodes well for the London Spitfire.
So, guys, we're not done yet. Where did I go? I'm up with 2. 3 more matches. We're casting 2 matches today. We got another one coming up after this one. But we are coming back with more Overwatch live from the Blizzard Arena. Matt is currently doing the cut sign right now and also doing a high five for me. So, guys, that's going to be it. You saw your next match there. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be getting right into it with Mr. X and Uber Shots.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.